Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. Kyle Brinsley in the house on this Tuesday. Welcome into the Fan Talk podcast. If you're new here, hello. Say hello to the sign and the posters. Rogue One, Phantom of the Opera, you know we love it. Fan Talk is by the fans, for the fans, and you're in the right spot if you are a fan. Fan Talk is a podcast that is anywhere you get your podcasts. I upload on YouTube and Spotify if you like the video versions. Guys, we're going to be talking about some fantastic things today. We're going to put a bow on the World Cup. It has come to a close. I am so sad. We're going to put a bow on that, review the beautiful tournament that it was. We'll look ahead to the next form of football. Yes, that's right. We are 1 month away from college football. We'll preview week 0 and beyond. Welcome into Fan Talk again, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This World Cup has been awesome. It has been so cool. And there's been so many great things to come out of this World Cup. Of course, we'll talk about the World Cup final, and we'll talk about the impacts from the World Cup as a whole. Let's start with that final on Sunday. Spain and Argentina faced off for the World Cup final. This is actually kind of funny. If you remember last episode, I predicted France and England would be the two teams that go on to the World Cup final, and neither of those teams advanced. Of course, they went to the third place game, and we had the highest scoring World Cup game in history with 10 goals. So that was crazy, with England coming out on top, winning 6-4 over France. They get their third place trophy. Why not? Kind of fun, kind of a good time. But then that left Spain and Argentina, two Spanish-speaking countries, for the World Cup final. Now, interestingly enough, I think last week I said the FIFA rankings in the incorrect order. I believe I said France was number 1. Argentina was actually number 1 because they had won the previous World Cup, and France was number 2. So this was number 1 and number 2 in the World Cup final. Who would have thought that after expanding the field, adding more countries, adding more matches, that number 1 and 2 would still make their way to the World Cup final? Honestly, if you're a soccer fan, you wouldn't be surprised. Spain was favored in this game. They were favored to win the whole World Cup before the tournament even started. Spain's looking really good, coming off a Euro win, as I mentioned before in last week's episode, winning European soccer's big tournament there. And Argentina, of course, winning the last World Cup. And so two Spanish-speaking blue blood nations face off in New Jersey for the World Cup title. And you guys know how it went. What a fantastic game. A little boring for a lot of Americans who don't quite understand soccer. I was watching the game with some very American people who are more used to football and hockey than they are to soccer. And, you know, it's a very interesting experience, as you know. If you know, you know, right? Watching it with people who aren't true soccer fans, then it's a very interesting experience. But it was still fantastic, still really fun. Of course, Spain, Fernan Torres scoring in extra time to put Spain through. Spain's defense was locked down. Argentina did not have a single shot on goal. They had a couple shots there towards the end, and I think they actually did get a few shots on goal, but they didn't have like any shots on goal for 99% of the game. Spain's defense was just absolutely locked down. Spain's the best team in the world right now. If you were to ask me, they win the World Cup, their second time in their nation's history. The last time they won it was in 2010. And interestingly enough, Shakira, who you know, wrote the FIFA song for this 2026 World Cup, also wrote it for 2010 when it was in South Africa. So Shakira and Spain have a little bit of a connection there. Shakira helped Spain win, apparently. Spain's the winners, Argentina's second, England taking third. Let's look back at the tournament as a whole. It was a very successful tournament. Soccer is now relevant here in the United States on a widespread scale, I should say. I grew up playing soccer. I grew up supporting soccer. I feel like a lot of people in my community play soccer growing up. And so I always thought soccer was just, a part of my life. But really, it's so interesting that a lot of people just do not appreciate soccer here in the United States as much as they do throughout the rest of the world. And the enthusiasm will never be the same as the rest of the world, right? But it's nice to see that people are actually embracing soccer for the first time in the United States history. Fantastic. Absolutely love it. But a few episodes ago, I talked about the United States if their World Cup was a success. I personally believe that it was. I know there was a lot left to be desired, and that Belgium game was a sour one to end on. Moving forward, the United States, again, they still have a lot of work to do. There are countries like Spain and France and Argentina, Brazil, England that are always going to be good. And so to get up on their level, you have to play those teams. You have to get better. You have to do the things that these other countries are doing, right? So it would be interesting to see in 4 years what the United States does. There were some other fantastic moments, of course. Cabo Verde, my favorite storyline out of this World Cup. Cabo Verde. Here's an interesting fact for you. They tied Spain. The only game that Spain did not win was against Cabo Verde. It was a 0-0 nil-nil draw. And then they almost beat Argentina, took Argentina to extra time, had that game tied at 2-2 in extra time, but Argentina pulled away and scored. This is a country of 550,000 people. Like, there's more people that live in your neighborhood than live in this Cabo Verde country. That was fantastic. So cool that they advanced to the round of 32 for the first time in their nation's history. Kylian Mbappe win the Golden Boot, which means he scored the most goals in the tournament, beating out Lionel Messi, beating out Harry Kane, beating out Erling Haaland. Speaking of Erling Haaland, he's a global star now. I mean, I of course knew who he was from the years and years he's played at Manchester City in the English Premier League. But now the casual fan, the average fan, now knows who Erling Haaland is. Erling Haaland had a very fantastic tournament. Is this Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's last dance? We know for sure that Ronaldo's done. Is Messi done? Messi's 39. Next World Cup, he would be 43, which is not impossible because Ronaldo was 43 this time around. So Lionel Messi could very well be done. He could come back. I don't know. And then Spain, are they just going to keep getting better? Are they the new powerhouse? Have they dethroned France, right? France has kind of been at the top for the last little while. Spain, are they relevant again? I mean, Spain's always been good, but it's just so surprising that they've only won 2 World Cups, with this most recent one being their second one in history. Their defense is good. They got young stars in Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, some good players. Should be really fun to see Spain moving forward. And of course, as I mentioned before, the Americanization of soccer officially begins. Soccer is alive and well here in the United States of America, and we embrace it. We embrace it. I always have, but now we all embrace it. All right, guys, any last thoughts here on the World Cup? Comment down below. Did you think it was a fun World Cup? Were you happy with the winner? Do you think the United States lived up to their expectations? Anything you guys want to say down below in the comments. If you're watching on Spotify, please leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider liking the video if you like what you hear. And let's shift focus from football to American football. Wow, I can't believe we're talking about American football in July. The reason I'm talking about it is because week 0, as it's called, it's like the unofficial start to the season. Officially, it starts in week 1, but in recent years, they've created this thing called week 0, where a select few teams play the Saturday before week 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matchups on this week 0. That starts Saturday, August 29th. So 1 month away, we'll be watching college football. And you know what that means. College football starts, then the NFL starts, then the weather starts turning cooler. It turns into fall. It's cuffing season. Y'all guys start cuffing up with each other. Then October rolls around. It's just the best time of the year. But hey, let's live in the moment and enjoy the now. It's still July, and we still have a month away until college football starts. But Saturday, August 29th, mark your calendars, 1 month away for week 0 of college football. Some okay matchups, nothing blockbuster by any means, but some okay matchups. The last 2 years, college football has actually had their inaugural game in Dublin, Ireland. So they're going to be doing that again. This time across the pond, it'll be North Carolina versus TCU. Could be a fun matchup. Bill Belichick, as you know, former New England Patriots legend, is now the coach of UNC. This is his 3rd year as coach of North Carolina. Can he finally bring them out of the realm of irrelevancy? TCU, of course, in the Big 12, they've made some changes, had some shuffle up with the personnel. That's just the nature of college football. Could be an interesting matchup. We'll see. Some other games, NC State, Virginia. That could be a fun ACC kickoff one. Hawaii and Stanford. New Mexico State, Florida State, Memphis, UNLV. Like I said, not a ton of blockbuster games, but it's college football, and people will not care after, 7 months, 8 months off of football. They will not care. They will eat it up. They will love watching Sacramento State at Eastern Michigan or Jacksonville State at North Dakota State because in the United States, they love American football. We'll do a full big preview once the season gets a little bit closer, but I did just want to mention that 1 month away, college football is beginning. Another thing I wanted to mention, we are in the second half of the Major League Baseball season. All-Star break just happened. They had the All-Star game, the Home Run Derby. We are now in the second half of Major League Baseball, and that is what you will be watching for the next month until American football starts, till college football begins. So I encourage you guys to go watch some baseball. Similar to soccer, a lot of people weren't watching soccer. Now, baseball is America's game. But the casual sports fan probably does not follow baseball as religiously as, somebody who's wearing Pittsburgh Pirates stuff every other day of the year. So I would encourage you guys, go watch some baseball. If you don't have a favorite team already, go pick a favorite team. Ideally, if the team is your hometown or the state that you live in has a team, pick them, right? And watch some baseball. It's actually quite fascinating. The game's changed a lot since you've probably last tuned in. So go check out some baseball. 1 month away from college football. We'll say goodbye to the World Cup, and what a fantastic ride that has been. I can't believe it'll be another 4 years until the World Cup happens again. It's kind of a full circle moment. When I started this podcast, episode 3 of my podcast was the 2022 World Cup. So it's kind of a fun full circle moment. This podcast has been going for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in October. Thank you guys so much for staying along on this journey. If you've been along on this journey for all 4 years, leave a like for this video. Take a bow. You guys are the true G's. I appreciate you tuning in. And if this is still your first time, welcome, welcome. You found the right place. Again, Fan Talk is a podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcast. If you like what you hear, share with your friends. Tune in next week for another episode because we're going to be jumping in to a lot of great things. Again, we're moving closer to the most wonderful time of the year. It's just going to get up from here. It's going to be great. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Go have a wonderful day. Go bless some people's lives. And I'll see you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.